Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world. This is the Midwest Motorsports GT4 Series. After a 1-week break, we are back to the roar of high-octane racing. Qualifying is already underway at the Barber Motorsports Park. Beautiful facility, golf course clean, pristine grounds, a perfect place to come back and race for 60 minutes. Hopefully caution-free. Safety car is available if we need it. There you can see the track conditions. It looks like there's 0% chance of rain, which I believe most of the racers will be happy. We have a full field tonight of almost 30 cars signed up and registered to go. About halfway through qualifying now. And it is my great pleasure to introduce Christopher Hopper with us, a master of military science fiction. Christopher Hopper is a renowned author and also lead singer in bands around the world, performing around the world. But mostly nowadays, he's writing books, military science fiction, Ruins of the Earth, Ruins of the Galaxy, 2 big series. My favorite, Resonant Sun, the Mysteries military science fiction series with advanced technology and compelling characters that really excite every word, keep me excited about what's going to happen next. Christopher Hopper, it's James. Thanks a lot for joining us tonight, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. With an introduction like that, I better be good. Wow, thank you. I'm just excited to be here tonight, and I think we have some great racing in store for everybody watching this evening.
Barber Motorsports Park, you have been racing the GT4 series in the past. I think now you decided to step out of the car and join me in the booth, which I'm really grateful for. But here we are starting a lap. Why don't you take us through a lap around Barber Motorsports Park?
Well, this is great. We're following Chase Fincher right now. He's in the McLaren, taking a right-hander. I think we're coming into coming up the hill here.
Out of turn 3 into turn 4 now.
Great. Yep, and he's on this long straight. This is coming into the tightest little corner. Excuse me, I misspoke. Yeah. Is he? Pardon me. I have lost track of where he is on the circuit at the moment. We do have the map.
Headed toward the chicane 6 and 7, 8 section. I think they're going to use a lot of curb here. Barber is about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours away from where I am, so I've been to the track several times.
Is that true? Really?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Great racing.
Yeah. I love the elevation changes on this circuit. Very challenging. Real roller coaster for the drivers tonight. And he's getting some compression here coming up into this hill and back down the other side, keeping it nice and tight, hitting that apex. Flowing. This is a circuit that rewards people who know how to flow well. So great to see Chase really, really just executing beautifully here. Coming along the straight, got the pit on the left. Great coloration in those tents too. Gotta love it. This hill, get nice some compression here on the bottom. Coming up in turn 2, flinging around. He's on the outside, looking to come in. Yeah, it's just I can hear those tires. I can hear them just squealing a little bit there.
Especially as hot as the August heat is, I'm sure tensions will rise as the race carries on. We are 7 minutes into qualifying now, and Chase Fincher is your fastest qualifier so far. We're still warming tires up. Christopher, in your experience, how long do you think it takes tires to come to temperature to be optimal?
Well, I mean, they're putting a lap in here. They're out lap. They should be getting that temp up to a workable place, we'll say. And these GT4s are a lot of fun. A lot of movement. You get nice weight transfer in that suspension, and it doesn't take much for these guys. So I feel like he's, Chase is showing us how it's done tonight with that 127.5.
Yep, putting it down, picking them up and putting them down. Mm-hmm. Speaking of, this is race 4 of 16. We just had our endurance race 2 weeks ago at Barcelona. That is in the past. Right now, Brian Coxon is your current points leader. Michael Odell, a close second, only 300 points behind. John Daniels third, Jason Phillips fourth. Hot tip about Jason Phillips tonight: he is having a manufacturer change. So he's changing from the McLaren to the Aston Martin. So he does not get to qualify. He's going to start from the pit lane, take a 50-point penalty. Next week, he should be on par, will not have to serve a penalty, be done. And so I expect to see Jason Phillips coming through the field tonight, as we're separated into two different classes, the Pro Division and the AM Division, on the track at the same time. Every position matters for points, but you're only racing others in your division. We have 5 minutes left in qualifying.
And as you pointed out, James, that's going to be a great story to follow. Jason is a very clean driver, very respectful driver, but he knows his business and he's fast. So I think he's going to give us a lot of great overtaking moments tonight. That's my prediction as we follow him.
Have you done any racing laps even against AI on Barber Motorsports Park, Christopher? Where do you think we're expecting to see some passes?
That's a good one. Certainly, I mean, any of these heavy braking zones. Oh, we have Mr. Wahlberg just looks like he went wide there into the grass. These heavy braking zones, certainly into turn 1, turn 5. That sharp hairpin is tricky, and I think anybody who has the cojones enough to do last of the late breakers, they could get rewarded. Granted, they could also create some havoc. So I think we're in for a good time this evening.
I agree with you 100%. Turn 5 is probably the most obvious passing zone. Late braking, downhill braking into a very tight entry that opens up on the exit, but then goes into a left-hand bend as well before the turn 7 and 8 chicane, I guess we can call it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also expect to see some too wide around the long sweepers, especially turns 2 and 3, and then the last ones at the end of the track before pit in at turn 13 and 14 is just one long, gradual right-hand turn that just seems to go on forever and really cooks the tire. But there are multiple ways to go around that corner and gain speed if you happen to be side by side against somebody. And
which is obviously so much fun in these GT4s to be wheel to wheel. And coming up on 3 minutes left in qualifying here, I'm guessing that we're going to get some last minute finishers trying to get in that last lap and really see what they can get out of the car.
Yeah, after a 10-minute practice session and a 10-minute qualifying session leading up to the 1 hour main event, Christopher, how do you manage that? Not only the restroom breaks maybe, but stretching your legs. How do you keep from getting too exhausted or keep your focus for the 1 hour and prepare yourself? What's your pre-race preparation?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Personally, for me, I've actually found a great benefit from doing physical activity outside of sim racing, which I know sounds kind of funny, but so much of our lives are spent behind screens. And so for me, I actually love cycling. And so endurance cycling has helped me maintain my focus and my stamina to sit in the chair for that long. I always found myself doing a few push-ups too, just before the race, between quali and race start. So just anything to get the blood going, get psyched up, and there's always a little bit of adrenaline, no matter what people say. Being in the sim rig, it gets the heart going. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. There's nothing like a little race preparation, a little early workout to, like you said, get the blood flowing, circulating through, and also to kind of tone down the adrenaline so you can really concentrate without the jitters. I still get the jitters just in the broadcast booth. I'm excited about being here tonight. We're going to see a great race. Qualifying is wrapping up. Chase Fincher still holding it down with the 127.5. Michael Odell, it looks like he's pulled it in, 127.5 as well. 0.02 of a second apart. It's going to be a cracking race.
Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding.
Top five are all in 127.5 or under 128 within half a second in the top five.
Yeah, this is just quintessential Midwest, and these guys, they know their trade, man. They know what they're doing. We get to see some of the very best racing. I feel like I have the best seat in the house with you tonight, James, here in the booth.
That's
This is great.
that's right. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. See, 25, 6, 7, 8, 28 cars have taken laps. I believe Jason Phillips is not on this list, so that's 29. Real exciting.
And just 20
Again,
seconds left of qualifying here.
and they'll be able to finish their lap, so we might have an extra lap as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking on the timing tower, the blue designation to the left of the name are the pro classes. The red designation is the AM division. So the way the points work, every position carries its own points, whether you're pro or AM. So if you can get a couple of pros in between your AM challenger, you will get a big advantage.
And not just that, but it feels good.
Right. The more people you have between you, the better it feels, especially if you're an AM driver and beating anybody, seeing any of those blues behind you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And arguably, those guys have
compliment.
they've got a target painted on their back, so it's difficult to get into that pro category, and it's at times even more difficult to sustain it and merit that badge of honor.
That's right. And another great thing, as we are looking at the spider now, one of the many sculptures that Mr. Barber has placed around the facility, as we're seeing qualifying come to an end, finish the lap you're on. Mr. Barber made his fortune in dairy sales, ice cream. He patented a way to mass produce ice cream and became an ice cream distributor, then sold it. And he has an amazing motorcycle museum with, I think, 8 or 9 stories high, thousands of motorcycles, Valentino Rossi machines, all the way down to the 1910 first motorcycles ever made. Oh, as Nicholas Aslan decides to crunch it and give his crew guys a little bit of work before he wanted to stretch out his seatbelts before the race.
Pretty sure his crew chief just threw something.
Yeah, right. Luckily, there's a reset button tonight, but let's give it up. Chase Fincher, who actually, fun fact, is not far from Alabama, from Birmingham, where this track is, just outside of Birmingham. Chase Fincher, I believe, is 15 or 20 minutes away from Barber Motorsports Park, so I'm not too surprised to see him. Michael Odell will share the front row. The AM division, Ian Bakaitis, last season's champion, wins the pole position, and the AM division will start off 16th.
Fantastic. And as a fellow amateur driver, my hat's off to Ian. Congratulations, buddy. That's awesome.
Like you said about about Midwest Motorsports, it seems like there's a lot of gentlemen drivers. Everybody's courteous, and nobody's really there to take each other out. The racing seems to be fair, hard but fair. What did you experience last season, Chris?
Oh, for sure. I think that's the thing that I love most is you're getting to be in a group of people, like-minded people. They're all here to have fun. They're all here to be clean, but also competitive. And so you race wheel to wheel with the same guys week after week, and you get to know their styles. You get to know who to watch out for, and which could be you at times as well, your own self. But that's always exciting and super rewarding. And I think one of the things that we all love about this league, and I think it's fun to watch too, because as we know, this is a simulation, but it is true to life in many regards. And when you just see cars flying off the track and doing all sorts of chaos, you would never do that in real life. It would be way too volatile. And so when we see the same kinds of discipline exercised in the sim as we do in real life, it just adds to the sense that this is a legitimate sport for us and something we all enjoy. So what a great place, what a great track. And as we get ready for the formation lap here, watching everybody uh, drop in to their respective cockpits and kind of shake the hands out, squeeze the wheel a little bit, make sure brake bias is set, and that last swig of water before we get underway. It's I feel the tension already. The excitement's ramping up here.
Alabaster, Alabama's Chase Fincher has put it on the pole in a bright blue McLaren. Michael Odell's going to share the front row with them. Jason Wahlberg, Brian Coxon, row 2. Your points leader, Brian Coxon. Sam Hubbard, Travis Rowe, row 3. Jesse Coffey, Demille Gummer, row 4. Jack Lucas, Steve Hansel, row 5. Justin Glickner, John Daniels, row 6. Robert Scharnar, Justin Thaler, row 7. JT in the Porsche, not having a great qualifying. Ian Bacchias, CJ Barzak, row 8. Nick Aslin, Ronald Kabiltis, row 9. Taylor Montague, Rick Bundren, Brian Sarton, Norm Snyder, good on you, Norm. Andrew Miller, Aaron Mitchell, John Aslin, Jason Phillips starting from the pit row with Francis Faustino. Wraps up your 30-car field tonight. We are getting ready to come to the green as they wrap their way around the final section of the track. We are getting ready to go after a week off. The Midwest Motorsports GT4 Series is under the control car of Chase Fincher, the blue McLaren, and we are green for a 60-minute GT4 race. We are green. Remember, all 4 X's on the first lap will be reviewed after the race, so let's keep it clean. Hopefully everyone gets a great start. As you can see, the amazing Barber Motorsports track and a 30-car GT4 field underway. Michael Odell is not going to let Chase Fincher get away. We're going to watch this all day, all night. I expect to see one pit stop. The pit window opens at 20 minutes. The longest I've seen anybody go is about 40, 42 minutes, depending on the track. Barber Motorsports Park, not known to be hard on fuel or tires, but I believe people are going to take at least front tires when they stop. We'll see if anybody wants to pull a little strategy and nurse some hot, worn-down tires second half of their stint.
I tell you, Michael Odell right now, he's doing a good job at trying to keep up with Chase here, put some pressure on. I think he's biding his time, but this is just excellent driving, very, very clean. And Chase is certainly the man on a mission right now. I think he's trying to extend that gap if he can, but Michael is just sticking to him. I think he's hungry. I know Michael pretty well, and so watching him, paint a bead, if you will. Oh, got a little correction there, but he's still in it, coming down the straight.
Lost a little bit of time trying too hard on lap 1, coming down to the start-finish straight. Complete lap 1, so the race is on. Michael Odell doing some, I think it's Spec Racer Ford racing in real life. Here you can see some of the elevation changes that you spoke about earlier, Christopher.
Yeah, it really, it's not only exciting on camera, it's certainly exciting in the car because the drivers have to account for the momentum shift. And you can all of a sudden find the front end, for example, getting really light, and you're understeering, and the car isn't going the direction that you're telling it to, all because the suspension lifted there, so the contact patch almost disappears out from underneath you. Conversely, you can take some of those turns a lot faster, and we're right here in the cockpit with Chase Fincher, and he's taking this really quick and keeping his speed up. Lets the momentum carry him wide there, and as he gets ready for his braking zone here, he's hard on the brakes, coming around this nice little chicane up the hill, some compression, and he's back on the gas as best he can, send it into the apex on the right-hand side, and then swing out wide coming up this hill. This is just super exciting, but he's also trying to stay on track here because it is easy to fly off into that grass.
You mentioned the word rhythm earlier. That gives you a great idea of the flow of this track. It just has a great flow, and especially in the GT4s, maybe a little bit underpowered, maybe compared to some of the other GT3s, obviously, or any open wheel single seater that's out there. The GT4s have traction control that you cannot turn off. What adjustments do you have in the car? As we're going to a replay here, the Justin Glickner and the Porsche with the red wheels. Oh, it gets it wide.
Oh, it takes it into the wall.
2 wheels in the grass, does 3 full 360s.
And he's waiting here carefully. Let's see if he rejoins. I bet he will.
Rejoin.
That car looks still drivable. And just a point there, watching him be patient, I think, is a really big deal. A lot of people try to get right back into traffic and throw things out, but he clearly is a gentleman, and that's the right way to do it.
Good on you, Justin Glickner. I saw Justin Glickner and Justin Thaler in the chat earlier today were giving each other a hard time and making side bets. I think Justin Glickner has a little bit of work to do. Michael Odell just stalking like a hawk on his prey. Like you said, biding his time.
And you mentioned his real-life driving experience. I have to believe that comes into play here. And talking to Michael, I know that's true. With regard, he doesn't have the same seat feel. He'll be quick to tell you, but the visual cues are there, and the same principles are there as long as you find the edge, the limit, if you will, of those tires, of that car. And look at this. He's poking up the inside, taking a sniff, as they say. And right now he can see the back image on the back of Chase Fincher's rear end there. He's getting a good look at it.
Not sure who that is. Maybe we'll have to ask Chase afterwards. Is not the first one to have a human picture on their paint.
That's true. I've heard there have been some special characters depicted, real life characters, on many of the Midwest Motorsports liveries in the past months and years.
He who shall remain nameless. Michael Odell has the fastest lap of the race so far. I know it's very early, only 3 laps completed, but using all the track, both of these guys trying to maintain as much momentum as they can. Another thing that really I've noticed separates the pros from the AMs are the ability to do these consistent laps, lap after lap after lap, within half a tenth of each other every lap. Not so much deeper in the field. Definitely a skill that comes with experience.
Yeah, I have to agree, James. I think that there is something really to be said for consistency, and there is no shortcut for that. By the way, Chase Fincher just took back the fastest lap of 1:27.784. But yeah, you get that through seat time, and there's no shortcut there. You really have to put in the time. And so when we're watching these guys, and I'll remind people watching at home or on their phones, wherever you might be tonight, that this every turn you see is representative of hours and hours of time spent in these vehicles, honing their craft, getting good at what they do. And I tell you, you sit down and think you're just gonna be in an arcade game and give it a crack, you won't make it more than a turn. So hats off to these guys as they ply their trade.
They make it look easy. Right on cue, Adam Sondag flips the camera. Thanks, Adam, for running the cameras tonight. Thanks to Josh Watt for running the stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/RivenVale. We're riding with CJ Barzak in the multicolor AMG Mercedes, following Ian Bakaitis in the number 22 Mercedes. Mission 22 to stop soldier suicide. He does 22 push-ups a day. And right behind him is Nicholas Aslin. Battle for the AM division is not.
And we might say that
over.
CJ is in the pro division, so he's hungry for that position right here. And yeah, to have these 3 Mercedes AMGs right in a row, I mean, it's great because same performing vehicle, they're going to be feeling the same thing. Those front end engines and that AMG. Oh, we have a nice overtake here coming into the turn. That was textbook beautiful. Nice,
Turn 1.
Nice kudos to CJ. Wow.
King of the late breaks. He pulled out right in time as they went across the start-finish line and made his intentions known early. And Ian Bakaitis lost as little time as possible. We'll see if CJ's able to pull away now, or if Nick Aslin and Rhino Kabiltis in the Gulf McLaren are able to catch up with Ian Bakaitis now, or if CJ continues in this current position.
They're doing a great job with those AMGs as well, because the rear ends are pretty happy on those vehicles. They definitely like to kick out from behind you. So to see them apply the throttle and do so in a steady fashion, again, is some of the fine tradecraft that we don't really get to see or think about as viewers. But once you're in the cockpit of that vehicle, they can be a handful.
Status quo up front. Chase Fincher, Michael Odell trying to get a good run, do the same thing that CJ just did, or is he following and trying to maybe learn something, maybe pick up on a habit that Chase has, like going wide there, filling up his mirrors. You know, you can really pay attention to Chase Fincher and maybe find a weakness by following lap after lap and applying pressure.
Yeah, and both the defensive and offensive positions are really interesting, because I think when you're out in front like that, you certainly get to set the tone, and there's nobody in front of you, right? So there's that sense of you're owning the road. But you see somebody in your mirrors, just what Michael's doing, trying to fill up his rear view. That pressure can get to you after a while. Conversely, as soon as you overtake P1, you are P1.
Now it's
And the pressure is right back on, and now you've got somebody breathing down your neck. So you're never in the clear, as we say.
That's right. Role reversal. All right, I believe we have a replay of Brian Cox and your points leader in the blue and black McLaren. Sorry about the picture breakup. Oh, SDK is giving Adam fits. It's not Adam's fault.
Yeah,
I'm
hats
going
off
to guess
to
and say,
Adam and our tech team. These guys are just the best. Volunteering their time to do this is so great.
and it's not going to cooperate, but I'm going to guess and say that was not a good ending for Brian Cox, and I know I'm going out on a limb. There he is in 22nd place.
Yeah, something
Lost
definitely
about 4 seconds on that lap.
I will
Telling
say
the track map to the right, the dots, little M&Ms I call them. Brian Coxon now deep in a traffic jam. This is a replay again. Going onto the front straight, so this is coming into turn 1. A hard left-hander where we saw CJ Barzak. I don't think it's going to cooperate, Adam. We can try. Oh, he's still in there. No, we're back live. All good. Didn't mean to interrupt you there, Christopher.
No, that's all right. Just kudos to all of our tech guys and Adam tonight. And this stuff is challenging. It's just as driving is challenging, so is all the technology that runs it. And what an age we live in to have all this at our fingertips. Pretty exciting to watch. We got Jack Lucas right now, and it looks like he's in a good line of traffic here. Got 5 cars, and that's always fun when you're got guys in front of you, guys behind you, you're right in the middle. You got kind of get that sense of who's going to be the first to make a mistake, and can we capitalize from it, or are we going to get taken out as collateral damage? It's always a bit risky.
Absolutely. Minimizing risk and maximizing the benefit. Jack Lucas, this is his first race with us tonight at Midwest Motorsports. Welcome to the cool club, Jack.
Yeah.
You've got John Daniels up ahead of you.
And John just got out to the side there, looking like he might put some pressure on Steve Hansel, but tucks right back in and continues on his way. A little make sure you see me in your rear view move. That's what that was.
Filling up the mirrors. You can tell, like I say, with the M&Ms up there, how close everybody is. Nobody's within half a lap yet of getting lapped. So it just says a lot about our Midwest Motorsports crew. We're almost 13 minutes in.
I gotta say, Jack Lucas's attire. We got a nice little in-camera shot there. You can see a little bit of his leg and arms there. Yeah, look at that outfit. I feel like we got a bit of a clown suit going on. Pretty snappy.
He dressed up for the occasion, though. I saw a bow tie in there.
Sure did. He sure did. And he's doing a 128.3, which is just, yeah, not even half a second off the leader. So really respectable. What a great first event for him. He's lost a position, but I'm pretty sure he's going to try to spend the next few minutes to get that back. He's not going to want to let that go.
Man, sometimes when you go to the restroom, you get that little piece of toilet tissue stuck in your shoe, and you just can't shake it. You kick as much as you can. You try to step on it with your other foot. That's what Michael Odell is to Chase Fincher right now, glued to the rear bumper of that McLaren.
He is
It
just
could be.
doing a fantastic job. Is that his new nickname now, James? Is that Michael Toilet Paper Odell?
No, I don't think that's fair to give that one to him. We'll see
But
how
you're right.
dirty. We'll see how dirty it is later, but the race is early.
True.
Three
Well
wide.
said.
Steve Hansel, Jack Lucas, John
Oh,
Daniels. 3 wide. Steve Hansel was in the middle of that. Wisely steps out as they go through the chicane at turn 7 and 8. Round back. Steve Hansel lost some ground on that one.
Justin Taylor is keen to get past Jack Lucas too. I think we're going to continue to see some great action here. Great rear shot from John Daniels' car. He's the 82, and really get a sense of speed here and just what it's like to be 2 inches off the ground, pavement, seeing these guys hunt you down. Little wheel into the grass there, some dirt getting kicked back, and we got somebody on the outside looking for a move, but he's going to close the door. This is exciting stuff.
Multiple lines coming through there. You definitely want to get cleaned up to go out and out on the final turn. 15. John Aslan, the father of Nick Aslan here, in the Napa Porsche, currently 25th, holding his own. John Aslan is known more for his oval prowess. He's a killer on the ovals and holding his own for sure in the road series. John brought Nicholas in, and Nicholas quickly showed Pops the fast way around the track.
I wonder how they get along. Did they talk about the races after the fact? And does anybody, get verbally reprimanded? I'm curious what their relationship is like.
I understand it's great, but I don't think Nicholas is sharing all of his secrets with Dad. I'm not sure I would either.
Heck
During
no.
this final chicane here, turn 11 and 12. Up the hill around the roundabout past pit end. Pit lane is not quite open. Pit window is not quite open yet. I think we might see a pit strategy. A lot of times it might be easier to pass in the pits on your outlap and inlap than on the road.
And go ahead.
No, I was just noticing Jason Phillips, after starting from pit lane, has worked his way up to 19th and being very patient. I thought he was in Aston Martin, but he went back to the AMG Mercedes, a known, that pair of boxers you have that always fits right and always feels right. I think the Mercedes AMG is Jason Phillips' comfortable pair of boxers.
I would agree. I would agree, James. And this is we haven't gotten to talk much about him, but we knew he was starting from the pits tonight, and to see him work up now into 15th position, now P13, and he's look at how patient he was, waiting for that opportunity, coming around the outside. He'll get the deal done. Oh yeah, he's gonna take that, and they're wheel to wheel. These are what the GT4s are wonderful at. Pulls ahead.
Awesome.
And what a fantastic pass by Jason Phillips, the man, the myth, the legend.
Shout out to Andrew Miller for holding his line and leaving space, as now he comes under attack from Francis Faustino, who gets by, and Brian Coxon wanting to be next to get around Andrew Miller. But, this is a replay from last year with Jason Phillips and Brian Coxon battling it out race after race. Only this time they're battling for 13th to 15th.
It's incredible, and to see both Jason and Francis come from behind, work their way through. I haven't been able to see too much action, so I kind of wonder if they've been working as a pair together. But they certainly did so right there, following one after the other. So you get these cars, they as close as you can. You do get a bit of a slipstream, and that can make a big difference, especially if the car that's being overtaken in front of you is offline. You can exploit that position and continue with momentum. So good teamwork from both those guys.
clearing the path. Jason Phillips is a darn good one to follow. If I was Francis, I would do the same thing. So it's funny that Jason was trying the McLaren, Francis was trying the AMG, I believe, and now he switched back to the Porsche. Brian Coxon's in the pits. So he thinks he could make it from here, right at 41 minutes to go. Jamil Gummer, first timer at Midwest Motorsports. Welcome to the cool club, Jamil. We're glad you're here. I got to admit, that's a pretty awesome paint.
Just going to say, love it. Love that paint. Nice livery.
Travis Rowe right behind in the BMW. Pittsburgh, Virginia's Travis Rowe. Coming through turn 1. You can see the elevation changes. There's turn 2 that just goes on forever and ever. Now back down or coming back up to a blind crest. Turn 3, you really have no idea where it goes. You just have to trust the road is going to appear. Brian Coxon back out after a pit. Brian Coxon stopped for 21 seconds. I'm going to assume he took tires. Did you get a chance to try any pit stops with times, Christopher?
I did. They're challenging. I got to go back real quickly to Travis Rowe. Great technical driver. I spent some time with him last week working with the LMP2 at Le Mans, and was able to race with his team for one of the endurance weekends, the 24 hours at Le Mans. We had a fantastic time together. But then as a follow-through, he just helped me through some tradecraft stuff. And I'm amazed at Travis's ability to analyze the data and to get better, to glean from it and improve competency. He's also a great teacher. So big shout out to Travis, just another great guy in the community, gives of his time freely, lots of information, a wealth of experience. And also, I won't give away too many secrets, but spent most of his youth in karts. And I think that translates kind of like Michael to this real world experience, to the sim experience, I should say, from the real world.
Awesome. I agree with you 100% about Travis Rowe. Is very skilled. And, you know, by teaching, you also learn a lot. So wouldn't surprise me if, Travis learned from you through that coaching session. But there's so much of that goes on up and down the Midwest Motorsports far between open practice sessions the day before or a couple days before, everybody getting in the chat, whether it's SimRig tips and tricks or settings, iRacing. And I believe Adam has a couple of replays for us. Taylor Montague coming around the final turn, 15. Going onto the start-finish straight. His car already looks beat up a little bit. Sorry about the picture breakup here, but into turn 1. Oh, just not fair.
It is not fair. There are some gremlins in the wiring tonight.
Maybe we didn't pay our bill, or they maybe bounced a check. Not sure. But it's okay. We just got a replay bug. And we'll hit Control-Alt-Delete, and it'll come back to us. We do have some pitters, though. Here we are. Justin Thaler, Steve Hansel.
And they're coming in trying to observe that pit limit. Don't want to get a penalty as they look for their flag, getting ready to pull in and take on fuel, as well as possibly change out some tires. As you mentioned earlier, this track isn't notorious for degradation, so we might see some guys opt not to get tires, but you never know.
Wow. Jack Lucas with a 10. There it goes. Now it caught up. Sorry, my timing telling me something different. Good on you, John Daniels, for letting the leaders go. Appreciate you. The race for the lead is on. Michael Odell looks like he has some speed. Chase Fincher was compromised on the exit of turn.
Look at this.
Coming out. He did it.
So he makes it stick, takes that inside line. Congratulations, Michael Odell. But he is not out of the woods as he
not over yet.
He's trying to defend his newly found position. Chase is not happy about that. He's not going to give it up that easy.
Michael Odell did a great job of staying right in the middle of the track there, giving Chase no option but to roll off the throttle and fall in line. Michael Odell showing how to pass and not be repassed. Chase Fincher was looking for the crossover on exit. Michael Odell said, "This is not my first rodeo." They go past Charlotte's Web into the late braking turn 5B. Let's see if Chase makes an attack. Not this time. Don't forget we have a pit stop coming up. I don't know where these guys would come out in the pits. That might be a factor.
That's true. That's true. These gaps aren't massive right now. Everybody is staying pretty tightly packed. We were just talking earlier though about role reversal, and so just as we said, we have Michael out front, and filling his rear view mirror is Chase Fincher. So he's whatever Michael was able to dish, Chase is more than ready to give it right back, and we're seeing some great P1, P2 racing at the moment.
Absolutely awesome. Turn 11 and 12, bottom blind crest, up and over the hill. Really easy to get your car light there. And many crashes into the grass. Past the pit entrance, they stay out for another lap. I think these guys are going to go as long as they can and not risk coming out in traffic. As somebody saved a little bit of fuel, can go one extra lap longer, or will the undercut pay off? Looking at the lap time, I see Jack Lucas with a 19.5 second stop, John Daniels with a 23-second stop. So Jack Lucas passes John Daniels in the pits. Francis Faustino with a 37-second stop. Maybe he changed all 4 tires.
That very well could be. We know they were really trying to squeeze those laps out, retake and regain ground lost from that pit start. So it wouldn't surprise me if they needed some fresh sneakers, some fresh boots on these vehicles.
Fresh shoes, that's right.
Getting a great onboard with Sam Hubbard here of Jason Wahlberg. And again, he's keeping him in his sights, biding his time, learning what this driver in front of him might have propensity for, where his mistakes might be made, and waiting to capitalize on even the slightest misstep. That could be an opportunity to overtake and gain a position.
Aaron Mitchell here in the gray, and I guess that's a blue-green. Cyan, maybe? I'm not sure what color we call that. I like it. I love the paint on Aaron Mitchell's ride there. Aaron Mitchell, the AM driver, in front of 2 pros who are trying to come through. Aaron Mitchell does not have to just pull over and let him go, and he doesn't. Or should he? Keeps Jack Lucas behind one more time. John Daniels is not going to intentionally run over Jack. But he's definitely going to keep the pressure on. See if Jack can get a good run. Create a little bit of a gap. You don't want to be too close. John Daniels looks outside. Jack Lucas trying to create a little bit of a gap so he can get a slipstream and get a run as they come to the back section of the track. Turn 11 and 12 now. A great viewing spot here, driver's left, where I love to watch him disappear over the crest. Behind him, Justin Thaler working under John Daniels. Can Justin do it? Can he cross over as they come back on? No, Justin Thaler in the white Porsche with the yellow wheels. It's a good run on the exit. Look out for turn 1 now. John Daniels, is he going to block Justin Thaler? Justin Thaler gets right up on his left rear quarter panel. Not this time. Aaron Mitchell doing a great job of providing us some good racing. Justin Thaler now, as they come into turn 5, over another blind crest. Remember, a hard left into a braking zone. Let's see if Jack Lucas goes inside of Aaron this time. And what is John Daniels going to do? But Justin Thaler goes really wide. John Daniels sends it in deep.
Well, contact there. Look on the inside.
John Daniels respectfully gives up the ghost. He doesn't want to pass that way. I have full respect for John Daniels there. As you can see, the bodywork dented in on the left rear of Jack's car. Here we are in a replay. John Daniels on the inside right of the screen. 3 wide around turn 5B. Who imagined that? Look at this GT4 action.
And I'll tell you, being in the cockpit in a moment like that, you are sweating. And yeah, just a little bit, little exchange of some paint there. They wanted a memento left over from Barber. We got a great close up of the right front wheel, and it looks like we're just gonna come in here and touch ever so slightly. Look at
Just a
that.
kiss.
Just a little kiss. Let you know I was there. And then Daniels backs off. But what a great series of turns as they continue to have this gaggle, if you will coming down the straight. And this is just an example, again, of what can be done with these cars in the right hands. Guys respecting each other's space, trying to make the moves happen, but recognizing when it doesn't quite work out, that you need to back off and look for your other opportunity, and they come. And right now, we do have this look here with Jack,
Deja vu.
all over again, and Justin makes it stick. Let's see if he can hold it. Again, great pressure. You're looking over your shoulder, across the car. You see that wheel spinning not far away from your hip. Oh, somebody's off the
We got
track.
a spinner right in front of the action. Oh, great job to stay on the brakes and out of the track. Justin Thaler gets a good run. That's Steve Hansel looping it around at just the wrong time. He's going to lose a couple of spots. Oh, Steve's long overdue for a good run. Steve, oh, so close. Gets it wrong. Too much curbs on the first entry.
Mm-hmm.
And just bad timing with the brakes. Oh, he lost it before the curb. He really sent it in deep. Formula D style going in. He's lost it before second curb and does a great job trying too hard. Battling with Francis Faustino. Steve Hansel is one of the admins that does the points website. If you've ever gone to the Midwest Motorsports Season 7 GT4 standings page with all the championship standings and the schedule, that's all Steve Hansel's. Completely different from, separate and independent from Sim Racer Hub. Shout out to you, Steve. Thanks for your effort in helping the league out.
He makes us look good. He really makes us look good.
Trying too hard. We're all guilty of that. No hard feelings.
Absolutely. And it just takes one small lapse in judgment, and you find yourself on the wrong side of a turn. So got Francis Faustino here coming in. Continues to work his way up. He's now P11, which is just outstanding. Commendable work from Francis, and looks like he's got Travis Rowe in his sights, just about 2 seconds up the road from him, and we'll see if he can close that gap. Meanwhile, Jack Lucas is here at P13, eyeing Justin Thaler. He wants that position back. I know he's not happy about that.
A little distraction had to play a factor, but I believe Justin was side by side with him, although Jack did have the correct line, well, the inside line into that chicane at turn 5, but John Daniels is not out of it yet. It was a little ambitious move, I think, last time, but he's gathered it back up, not lost any ground. He's going to try to make another run. If he can get there. Justin Thaler with the pressure. Like Sam Hubbard dropping. Jason Wahlberg. Maybe it's just a timing screen going through a reset.
Could be.
All good. Sam Hubbard was an AM driver last season, now a pro. Definitely deservingly so. Congrats, Sam. Good running.
And he's been putting in really good, consistent laps. Good enough to get him 2 positions from where he started. And yeah, he's currently seated P3. It's a great place to be in. Meanwhile, Nick Aislinn is here coming into the pits, leading the AM division. Will he take tires, James?
Good question. We're about to find out. If I was him, so he waited as long as he could.
I got to
Our
imagine.
leaders still have not. Yeah. Jacked up. So that tells me he does take tires when they go up on the air jacks.
And it's going to feel real good. You get the new rubber down, That car feels a lot more locked in, not as wiggly, not as squishy. And I know if you can make hay, make hay while it shines, while the sun's
That's
out,
right.
they're gonna try to take advantage of that fresh rubber as best they can.
Looks like Chase Fincher and Michael Odell have waiting for my timing screen to restart before I figure it out. But look at Jason Phillips.
Putting the heat on.
He is bringing it. He's already stopped, and he's currently P6 after starting in pit lane at 30th.
Got to say to Ian Bakaitis, too, he's done a fantastic job. Here he is, amateur P5 at present, holding off the champ, Mr. Jason Phillips. And yeah, this takes some fortitude, some intestinal fortitude.
Ian Bakaitis goes really wide.
It goes really wide. I tell you, you have somebody like Jason Phillips behind you, you're thinking twice. You're no matter who you are, you're second guessing some of your moves. So, Jason takes P5. Look at that.
As you mentioned, last season's champion, Jason Phillips. What an incredible season we had last season. Came down to the final race, and 25 points separated, came down to the 0x bonus.
And James, you talk about great people in this league. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Jason continues to be so generous with his time, with his wisdom, his knowledge, everything from tradecraft to hardware. He loves his rig, and he's a man who knows how to build things in real life as well, take care of automobiles, and a very gifted individual. So, again, he's one of those guys that just makes Midwest the league that it is.
And I'm understanding that maybe he has not stopped for his fuel stop, so we'll see. I very well could be wrong. It does say pit count 2 with a pit time of 23.4, but we'll have to see it play out.
What I would as well.
Either way, he still had to work really hard as he's up to Nick Calguru. Thanks a lot, Nick. Back up front, Sam Hubbard. So Michael Odell showing the lead. That means Chase Fincher is on his way out. Francis Faustino in the pit lane.
Yeah, Chase is back here at P6, coming back out into traffic and making his way. He also has someone on the side of his livery. I can't tell who that is. Looks like a figure on the right side. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just
Inquiring minds want to know. We will have to find out. Stay tuned in the chat this week. Road Series chat. The Discord is so active. Another great benefit of Midwest Motorsports. While we wait for Michael Odell to bring in his pit stop, we'll take a 60-second pause and learn more about Midwest Motorsports, midwest-motorsports.com. 3 iRacing series. Truck series runs on Friday night. Cup series on Sundays. And you're watching the GT4 Road Series on Tuesday evenings.
Are you tired of milquetoast lawless racing and ready for a real league? Then you need Midwest Motorsports. Our iRacing Cup, Truck, and Road Series are unrivaled and make grown men cry. Featuring active race control and an active Discord server. Say goodbye to cheese wagon free-for-alls and hello to the best league racing you'll find anywhere. Want more? Who doesn't? Catch our weekly podcast, complete with member interviews, race reviews, standing updates, and rig tips and tricks. Live race broadcasts with announcer commentary.
And Ty Williams in the 81 in the red car. Jason Huffman gets in between them.
Fridays, Truck Series. Sundays, Cup Series. Tuesdays, Road Series. Visit midwest-motorsports.com to sign up for free and see if you have what it takes to not finish last. Our next season starts soon. Scan the QR code to sign up now, unless you like being taken out in Turn 1 by noobs.
Nobody likes being taken out in turn 1 by noobs.
Definitely not. Not me, anyway.
Midwest-motorsports.com. Broadcast on twitch.tv/Rivenvale, as you see on the screen. Midwest-motorsports.com. Check out the rules, find out which league suits you best, and come join us. Entries are always open and always free. So come get in some of the fun action as we're coming up on 20 minutes to go. We're riding with Justin Thaler with Jack Lucas right behind us.
And John Daniels behind him. You could be one of these two vehicles right here. You never know. Hunting down the pack, trying to keep it tight. Looks like he's going wide. Losing a little bit of time, but he has a good exit and keeping the pressure on. I feel like Justin is feeling this pressure. What do you think, James? Do you think what's going through Justin's head right now?
In most cases, he's cool as a cucumber. Right now, he's inside the top 10. He'd be very happy with that, I believe. But he's definitely feeling the pressure. He most of all just doesn't want to get taken out. So he's going to try to do the best he can to drive defensively, but not put his car in a position with too much risk. We're in the most vulnerable turn right here as Jack Lucas goes deep. Single file so far, 20 minutes to go now. Can he get it done? This battle's been going on since the drop of the green flag. And I'm sure these guys are grinning in their rigs ear to ear. Just having a great time. Jason Wahlberg and Sam Hubbard still going at it.
And I think part of the grin comes from the fact that you really can trust the guy in front and the guy behind you. Now, obviously, accidents happen, and you never know. I could eat my words here and we see something wild. But for the most part, these guys are picking similar break points and turn-in points, and so you have this trust and knowing that we are flying around a corner at 89 miles an hour and just mere inches apart while not actually throwing each other off into the grass or into a wall. That's part of the excitement for me, and love seeing that here demonstrated so expertly by all these guys as they continue to battle for position. And we got a little grass there, Brian Coxon on the outside.
On the brakes.
Yeah.
Jason Phillips and Brian Coxon trying to figure out how to get through.
So many great battles here as Jason is just trying to hunt down Ian Vakaitis. They've been going back and forth, I feel like. Somewhere Ian retook the position, it seems.
And one drops off into the pits. But yes, Jason Phillips finally made his pit stop, so he's back to 16th.
Oh, that's what it was.
That's playing out, yep. But working on Ian Vakaitis, but Brian Coxon was right there trying to figure out as well.
This is a fun battle, too. Such great drivers, all contending for position, putting the pressure on each other. Tries to stick his nose up at the inside. Can't quite make it happen. He's going to look for another opportunity as they come up over the hill and get ready for another break zone here. See if we can get any nice, still clean. Brian's sneaking up on behind Jason, though. He's taking a sniff.
He's ready to pick up any scraps that are left over if there's any argy-bargy, as they say, in between Jason Phillips and Ian Vakaitis, but Brian Coxon trying to plan a strategy to maybe overtake both, or if Jason catches Ian Vakaitis at just the wrong place, maybe that makes him vulnerable to Brian Coxon in the back. So Brian almost has to watch Ian Vakaitis to know where to attack Jason. As Jack Lucas has got around Justin Thaler, maybe Justin made a mistake or Jack made a good move.
Well, just like Jason, now you have Justin in between two competitors, and you are both playing offense and defense at the same time. It's something that's very, very difficult to manage, and a lot of people don't actually think about. But as much as you're trying to attack, you're also trying to pick your line wisely and outsmart the person who's hunting you down.
The hunter versus the hunted. Right now, Justin Thaler is both. The battle rages on. The rendering is missing a crossover bridge there. That feels kind of funny. All good. Look at John Daniels. He has a good run on Justin Thaler's. Justin missed
Yeah,
the exit.
catapult out of that exit. Look at that.
Good on Justin. I think he saw that one coming, didn't want to risk it with 16 minutes to go. Here's those multiple lines through here. Remember, we want to set up for a good exit onto the front straight here, start finish straight. And Justin do it. You see up ahead. Thank you, sir, for pulling over and let the guys go. You can rejoin your race. That way, you guys are slowed down the least, at the minimum. Great racing, great sportsmanship. Knowing that everybody's here just to have a good time. I tell you, Penske IMSA Series is not watching Midwest Motorsports GT4 to try to find their next driver. There's really nothing to gain here by taking anybody out. Relax, have fun, make it memorable, enjoyable for all of us. Justin Glickner and Ron Kabiltis headed across the start-finish line for one more lap. We're starting to get to that late point in the race where the off-tracks and incident points start to add up. We're starting to see drive-through penalties. Over 15x, I believe, is the limit. And that was Ian Bakaitis serving a penalty for black flag.
And you try so hard to minimize those incidents, but when you got your elbows out and you're jockeying for position, it's easy to put a wheel off. It might not be apparent to the viewing audience that there was an infraction, but on your dashboard you'll see those numbers tick up, and that adds another layer of pressure as a driver, because you're not just driving the car in front or behind you, you're also driving against yourself and trying to minimize those penalties. So it's just another level of racecraft that has to factor into this whole dynamic as we watch Michael O'Dell get some pressure with Chase Fincher behind him. Can he hold him off? He's doing a fantastic job, but at this level, even the smallest mistake could spell opportunity for somebody who's going to capitalize on it.
45 minutes these guys have been bumper to bumper, giving no quarter, making no mistakes really, going through traffic, perfect pit entry, pit exit, in lap, out lap, hitting the pit lane speed limiter. So many things have to come together just right, and they're still less than a half a second apart. It may concertina a little bit throughout the lap, but I mean 0.4 seconds apart as they cross the line that time through turn one, around a long sweeping right-hander, up and down, compressions, pulling on G-forces, pulling you every direction.
And you got to hand it to these guys. It's so much fun, too, because we get to witness two guys like this who are so evenly matched. They give us a great show. And the suspense of who's going to pull ahead and how long can they hold it is just so tantalizing. It's tasty, if you will, James.
Tasty. No seasoning necessary. But look at this. Jamil Gummer in fourth place. Still hasn't pitted yet, but all the way up, lap after lap. Newcomer Jamil Gummer testing the fuel. What kind of fuel run has he got?
He's been lifting and coasting, I bet.
I mean, yeah, 127.9 for the fast lap, 128.7.
Maybe he's just leaning forward. Yeah, he could just be leaning forward.
Right. Got an extra fuel tank hidden under the seat somewhere. Ron Kabiltes, we had a blinker there. Oh, it's Jason Phillips. And Francis Faustino. Francis has gotten by Jason Phillips. I'm not sure if Jason made a mistake or Francis back in his comfortable Porsche.
And we're getting word that the number 88 Gummer did pit on lap 28, so he's not running on fumes. He did pay the piper, as it were.
All right, yes, it was my time. Well, still showing fourth place. Good on you, Jamil. Ron Kabiltes, Jason Phillips, and the Big Ass fans. Gold and black paint today. Gotta admit that Gulf McLaren on Ron Cabiltas looks awesome.
Oh, it's just classic livery.
Cannot go wrong, especially on a McLaren. Jason Phillips right in the slipstream through the chicane. Another straight past the grandstands on the left. Into 11 and 12. Side by side through there. Awesome driving over the crust. Jason Phillips makes it through. Great driving by both guys.
And I just got to point out there that rules say that you need to leave a card's width to the outside line there. And if you watched that, Jason left just that and an inch, which just makes that pressure for the car in front to yield, and tests their mental stability, as it were. So Jason is a master behind the wheel. So fun to watch him drive. I enjoy it every time.
You mentioned the endurance races, Lamar. Endurance racing, I'm not sure if it was a special event that you guys were doing as a multiple drivers, but these guys not losing focus. 60 minutes might be, have a tire stint or a fuel run on one of those special events and mark the halfway point. It's the full race for us tonight. So those that are conditioned to do those special events might have an advantage here. Michael Odell continuing to lead. Chase Finchers, we're right at the 10-minute mark, 10 to go. Who's it going to be in the August heat? Tires are worn down. Your fuel load is super light. I don't know if the car changes too much with the lighter fuel, but these are all things to consider.
And pretty impressive when you look, you were mentioning this before, James, that they only have a 0.3 second gap between them at the moment. The next closest car in P3 is Sam Hubbard, and he's about 16 and a half, almost 17 seconds back. So they've created quite a gap here as these two contend for P1. And I think we're gonna see this right up into the end. That both these guys are clean, very, very dedicated, and highly skilled. So I think they're going to give us a show right up to the last lap, I bet.
Last season, we did not see many BMWs. Definitely didn't see many successful BMWs as Jason Phillips in the AMG gets a good run on Francis Faustino out of turn 3 and 4 into turn 5. Jason Phillips repasses Francis Faustino, who allows it to happen, but now goes back on the charge. And we'll see if Francis can make another attack before the race is over. These guys both started in the pit lane. They made it through half the field with 8 minutes to go. First time Barber Motorsports Park has been on the Midwest Motorsports schedule. I'm not sure how many people had to buy the track before today's race.
I did.
I guess it's quite a few, yes.
And shout out to Francis Faustino, who has a great YouTube channel. He's a wonderful streamer, multi-camera. He's just a character. I really enjoy him. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Very knowledgeable, as we can see here, very quick as well. And so we get to see him virtually, but you can also tune into his stream and watch him in the real, IRL, behind the wheel. Again, multi-camera. He's got a great setup, always fun, and his commentary, both yes, self-deprecating at times, but as well as super encouraging when other people pull a move on him, we'll say. I remember I passed him once. I think once is my claim to fame. And I'm saying hi there. Francis, you're the man. And just love how encouraging he is to others, even on his own stream. I think that's something you don't see a lot of, and I appreciate that about Francis.
And the conversations he has with Jim are hilarious as well. I caught myself laughing out loud.
Absolutely.
Okay, Jim, next time I'll let you drive.
I feel like he could have quite a TikTok following if he were to segment those out and put them up as reels, you know?
Yeah, exactly. 7 to go. What do you think? We going to flip a coin, or do you think Chase Fincher, your pole sitter, is going to be able to get around Michael Odell before it's over?
Are we allowed as commentators to place bets, James? Am I allowed to do that?
Between friends.
All right.
We can play favorites, maybe. What do you think?
I think Michael's going to hold on to this. I get to race with Michael fairly frequently. I'm really amazed at his tenacity. He's cool under pressure, and I think again that comes from his real world experience, where he's fighting for drives, and that's kind of his career path at the moment. He's looking for that long term drive position, so he's going to apply that. And despite Chase here is
Good on you, Francis.
pushing him hard, but I think Michael's going to pull through.
I'm going to go the other way. I think Chase Fincher knows that he has a 17-second gap to third place. So he's either going to send it up turn 5 or maybe going around that second chicane before crossing the hill, he's going to send it into 13, maybe even turn 1. But he's running out of laps. Minute 30 per lap. We're looking at maybe 3. Oh, Michael Odell makes a rare mistake, locks it up into turn 5. It's on the exit. Great view. Chase Fincher's got to run. Michael Odell has the inside line. Chase Fincher will be outside around the chicane at turn 7. Doesn't do it. Still applies pressure. Now he needs to get a good run out of here. Michael Odell's inside line is compromised. Chase is really close. He doesn't have enough to take advantage of the slipstream. He's going to be on his bumper. Has to lift, and the advantage is gone. Michael Odell able to hold this position after making a slight mistake in turn 5. Wow, that was close. But that's what it's going to take. Chase Fincher is not going to let him go away.
Ladies and gentlemen, James live calling that on the track. This is fantastic. I was on the edge of my seat watching you call that, James.
I'm up on the edge of my seat. I'm so excited. I hope you are. Thanks to everybody for tuning in to the Twitch channel. These are Midwest Motorsports best. Midwest Motorsports is the fastest growing iRacing league, and you're seeing why, according to my research. Chase Fincher has the fast lap by 200ths. Jason Phillips going around Justin Glickner here into turn 5. This is for position. Move Jason Phillips up. Oh, don't take the hats to victory lane yet. Justin Glickner's going to fight back and has the inside line of the chicane. 2 pros going at it. Let's see if Glickner breaks early. The king of the late breakers, Jason Phillips, goes deep on the outside, over the curbs, 4 wheels over. Full send for Jason Phillips as we're winding it down. 4 minutes to go. Back to the front, Michael Odell, the red and white BMW. Sam Hubbard now working with Jamil Gummer. This is for 3rd and 4th place. The final step on the podium. These guys aren't through either.
They're not. And no one's given up. I love these tight packs here. Got John Daniels looking at Jack Lucas, eyeing him, looking for an opportunity. And, we have another almost move there on Michael Odell from Chase Fincher P2. He's hungry. These guys are both not going to let this go. I'm telling you, what great action.
Michael Odell feels like he threw one away last race at Catalunya. The battle for the final step of the podium continues. Jamil putting a target on his back, going up the first time out for the podium. Killer paint. Got the windshield wipers on.
Got some rubber on that glass, I'm supposing.
There you go.
He's looking for an opportunity.
Sam Hubbard's not one to make many mistakes either. Very fast driver.
It's true. And he knows how to defend his position, so I think this is going to be a hard car for Gummer to pass as he chooses his lines, carefully line up for this heavy braking zone. And good, clean driving here. It's an opportunity for some trading paint, and they both avoid that.
I think we're going to get this lap in one more.
I think
maybe
so.
2. We'll see. You're going to go. You got to go now, Chase. We'll get this one and maybe 2. This one is about to end. So let's see who's going to make the first mistake. There are a couple of lap cars in front, and that would be Justin Glickner and Jason Phillips.
Hopefully everybody's respectful, and we don't want to give the commentators curse here. All it takes, though, is one move at this level, this high end. They're only a half second apart. How they have come over an hour of racing to be just 5/10 away from each other is simply marvelous. And again, the quality of racing we get to watch week in and week out. So cool.
So cool. Coming to the white, this time by. Oh, the gap is increasing now. The biggest lead Michael Odell has had almost all race.
I'd like to say 1 more tenth is breathing room, but I'm not sure he feels that way at the moment. Up ahead, it looks like he has Francis Faustino, who will be very good at letting these two guys get by here if it comes to it. With only 58 seconds to go, can Michael Odell maintain his cool, calm, collected self? And what is he thinking right now?
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Oh, my engine stays together. Oh, we have enough fuel. Oh, the tires flat spot isn't too big of a deal. We're coming down to the white flag, coming past pit road for the final time. Michael Odell, Barney waves the white. All right, timing was throwing me off. Gummer and Sam Hubbard are still going at it too as they come around to finish their lap and take the white.
And we got
John Daniels and Jack Lucas.
Yeah, sniffing to the inside there. Couldn't make it happen. Somebody's in the grass there. Robert Snar, he's hungry on this last lap as well.
Back to the front. Justin Glickner right in front. Michael Odell is getting them catch up to him at the wrong time, wrong place.
Francis, get out of the way.
Justin Glickner. Oh no. Oh no.
Glickner.
Yes. Michael Odell is wheeling him away. Here comes Chase. He's got to run. He's got to run.
Can he make it happen? Michael dives to the inside, hits that apex, pops up the other side of the hill. Ever slowing turn here. Can he stick it?
Around turn 13 for the final time. Midwest Motorsports GT4 Series from Barber. Michael Odell leads Chase Fincher down past the pit entry for the final time. Checker flags are out for Michael Odell, your winner. Incredible. And we're 3 wide. Oh, as Ron Kabiltis goes around, Jamie Gummer gets into the grass. That's gonna and gathers it back up. Great drive there. Great recovery from Jamil Gummer. Sam Hubbard is going to take P3, but that could have been so much worse. Jason Wahlberg barely getting by.
On the inside, gets twisted around. Barely misses the rear end of Gummer. That was too close for comfort.
Okay, we know at least one guy that needs a change of underwear, driver suit.
Code Brown
that race. Yes, for me too. Sam Hubbard holds on to P3. Jason Wahlberg brings it home in P5. Oh, Jason Wahlberg gets bumped by Robert Shar. Just a little love tap to Jesse Coffey.
Flashes the lights to let him know, yep, here I am.
Respect. Aaron Mitchell brings it home.
And it's worth noting, fastest lap of the race goes to Chase Fincher at 1:27.736, which just shows how hard he was pushing there to try to take P1 back from Odell. And it's worth noting, Odell takes the Pro win, but Nick Aislinn takes the AM win. So congrats there to Nick.
Christopher, I'll let you call the results while I try to pull people in for the interviews. How about that?
Sounds good. In P1, Michael Odell, 56 car. The 18 car is Chase Fincher in P2, and P3 goes to Sam Hubbard. Jason Wahlberg finishes P4, just in front of Travis Rowe, P5. P6 goes to Jack Lucas, followed by John Daniels, Justin Thaler, Jesse Coffey, and rounding out the top 10 is Robert Snar. Jamil Gummer, P11. P12 goes to Steve Hansel. 13 in our first AM is Nick Aislinn. P14, Brian Coxon. Working his way all the way from the back, Jason Phillips in P15, followed by P16, Justin Glockner. Francis Faustino in 17th, 18 to Ian Bakaitis. These guys just did a fantastic job racking up some points, and we continue down as the announcer picks up his place. P19 to Aaron Mitchell, followed by CJ Barzak. Brian Sarin, P22 goes to Ronald Kabilis. 23, Taylor Montague. 24 is Norm, I believe that's Snyder. Got some clouds in the way there. Rick Bunderin, beg your pardon, gentlemen. P25, P26, Andrew Miller. And rounding out the pack tonight, P27, John Aislinn. Circuit is complete, and the race, what a fantastic show we had tonight.
Incredible racing up and down the field. Nobody was left alone to fight by themselves. We have Nicholas Aslan, your AM division winner, and P13 overall. Hey, Nick, it's James and Christopher in the booth. You got us?
I do. I can't believe I'm talking to you on a Tuesday.
Believe it, buddy. You did it, man. Congrats. Is this your first
Congratulations.
First win in the GT4s?
Yeah, first time in the Road Series, first win. I can't believe it came at Barber. Like, I am not familiar. Like, I know of the track, but I literally have never experienced or seen the layout of the track prior to this week. I have to give a huge load of gratitude to Chase Fincher. He helped me a ton in the practice session that was put up yesterday. Didn't change a whole lot in the timesheet for me, but it just gave me a lot more confidence, and I didn't junk it. I feel like that's why I'm here. I didn't junk it.
Rule number one, right? Don't junk it.
And consistency.
Christopher, you got anything for Nicholas?
Yeah, Nick, what was going through your mind as you started to see your relatives and then the standings probably there from the cockpit, unless you didn't see that. But what was starting to go through your head as you realized, man, I might take this tonight as the AM winner?
Yeah, I pretty much just kept saying, like, oh, please don't let another AM driver be ahead of me. I'm going to be so disappointed if there's an AM driver ahead of me, because I was racing early in the race, the 22, I believe. I was racing him, and he was kind of holding us up a bit, and we were able to get by him, and I had the pace. I drove away. I was really scared what to do on the strategy, because I felt like I was burning the tires up a lot. So I ended up taking tires. Still came out ahead of the 22 and was able to drive away. And I think he was involved in an incident or something. But yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
Awesome, man. Well, we are happy to have you here too. I know, shout out to your pit crew for putting the car back together after that hellacious qualifying crash at the end.
Oh, y'all saw that?
Your boys did a great job putting the car back together.
Yeah, qualifying didn't really go my way, and we just had to let it out. We just had to bring out the backup.
Well, Christopher and I had a running joke during the race, wondering how many people actually had to purchase Barber Motorsports Park for this week. I'm going to assume that you were one of those. And good on you, man, for turning some clean, consistent laps and not junking it, man. Your road course prowess is almost about to catch up to your oval prowess. So congrats on a great win, Nick. Anything else before we let you go?
No, that's it. Hopefully I'll be talking to you again on Friday night as Oval Series Truck Champion. We're going to try that. The goal is going to remain the same as this race. And as in the truck race, don't junk it. That's the goal Friday night. So I may not be talking to you on the podium, but hopefully I'll be talking to you with the championship trophy.
Right on, man.
Congrats, Nick.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Way to go, Nicholas. That's Nicholas Aslan, your amateur winner on the GT4 series tonight. Congrats to him. Up next, Michael Odell. Winner, chicken dinner, man. Michael, you did it. I'm going to bet it's not your first laps around Barber Motorsports Park, but you and Chase Fincher had a ding-dong battle all race. Talk us through your race.
Well, where do I start? Honestly, throughout the prep, throughout the week, I kept watching me and Fincher slowly just trade 1,000th here, 100th there, 1,000th here, 100th there, 10th there, 1,000th there, and it's like just trading times back and forth. So I knew going into it, me and him were going to be the rivals of the two battling just the entire time for that front spot. The biggest thing was that with the track itself, I'm definitely no stranger to it, both in real and sim. I actually saw Fincher here back in February when I was testing for Spec Ford, the good old Spec Wrecker. And on top of that, with the sim, me and him both going back and forth, it was just a matter of managing traffic and getting the good old Page Construction BMW sorted throughout the long run, because I knew in the short run he would have some issues with his tires.
Now, Michael, what was going through your mind there? Obviously, you were P2 for a good portion of the race. Biding your time, watching for him to make mistakes. What were you thinking? Put us in the helmet, if you will.
Well, honestly, for in the helmet, a lot of it was just watching and studying and seeing was there a corner that in a consistently out of 5 laps would he consistently hit that apex, or would he brush a little wide? Would he miss his trail break? Would he miss his turn in? And I was trying to study his marks and what corners I would have strength on him, because in a flat out pace battle, I had nothing for him, but in a racecraft battle, being behind him, it's a lot easier to study them through the front versus through the mirror. So taking that time to save a little bit of fuel and study, where is he strong, where is he weak, where is he about equal, where's the areas that he gets better drive with that McLaren, where's the better corners where I get drive with the BMW, especially in the back section up that hill. I always seem to pull 2-3 tenths there. I knew that was a really strong spot, so if I got him there, it was just a matter of making it stick, and I would have had a few tenths of breathing room to reset for the next lap. So honestly, it was. Sorry, you first.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, it was honestly just studying them and learning what the weaknesses and strengths were, and then tailoring my approach to him to that type of battle.
Follow through question. So once you made the move stick, which was well done, how much of that learning came into play to defend P1?
All of it. The biggest thing was that as someone follows you, they learn. So as you guys saw, after I got through that whole back section, he slowly got faster and faster and faster as he saw where I was making that time. So the biggest counter I had to that was trying not to block, because blocking's a little rude, but angling the car and positioning the car in just the right spot. That is, do you really want to try this pass? It's not blocking them. It's just enough to where it makes them hesitate. You're trying to get mentally in their head and make them reconsider. I might not make it. The second you have that in your head, you got them, because now they have doubt. They're not sure if they can make it stick. They might bump you. Even if they don't bump you, they might mess it up and you get a switchback. It's just playing that game of trying to keep it where he can learn as little as possible from me, but me learning the most from him before that pass, and then using all of that data and seeing how he drives mentally to see how he reacts and how to play those cards at just the right angle, right time, especially with the traffic. If I had, like, at the last few laps there, you saw I got backed up a little bit, was playing the corners just enough to not give him that time to build momentum and build that run.
Fantastic.
Perfect example of the racing IQ that separates the pros from the AMs, and sometimes even the pros from the pros, but the difference of 0.14 between you and Chase at the finish line, the perfect example of the skills that we see in the Midwest Motorsports Series. And I want to ask, there were a couple of occasions where you were in the lead, Michael, and I don't know if there's little slight miscalculations or what. I think you locked up going into turn 5, and Chase got side by side, and then had a good run coming in to the chicane, but you positioned your car right, as you mentioned. And then also coming up on a lap with Justin Glickner with 2 laps to go. Not sure exactly what you were thinking there, but you played it just right. What was going through your mind in those moments?
Well, for the first one, the one in turn 5, I was trying to slowly move my braking zone in further and further, because I noticed that over time he kept getting stronger through there. So as a counter, instead of trying to go to the inside and defend and then immediately suffocate any momentum and speed that I can carry through that exit. I just tried to go a little bit further, and once I went that little bit further, I'm like, I'm not going to make that corner. So I instinctively put a little bit more pedal into it, and I had the ABS kick, and once it kicked, that's where you saw me skate out a little bit, and then just hold on and defend it into that museum section.
Well, 60 minutes, 41 laps. I mean, 2 mistakes, the whole race. You want to talk me through the second one when you guys caught traffic?
Yeah. So with Glickner, the biggest thing was at first I'm like, okay, he's got blue flags, but he doesn't have to abide by those. So at the same time, it's like as much as I want him to pass or let me through, I know that the second he lets me through, it's either very specific timing so that I can at least keep good speed up and not have it where I get slowed down, and then it allows Fincher to build momentum. And then at the same time, if I passed him right like we did at the last lap there under regular speed, and then once I got through, he let Fincher through, that part there was the biggest, trying to make sure I hit every mark I could and not make any even opportunity for Fincher to try to get a nose or even a poke.
Well, you did it tonight, Michael. Makes up for your run at Catalunya a couple of weeks ago. That is behind us. And you, sir, going from second. Brian Coxon did not have the best run. We'll wait to see what points play out at the end. But congrats on a great race. Looking forward to next week as we move on to Montreal in Canada, Gilles Villeneuve circuit. 60 minutes up there. What do you think we're going to see? You got it handled up there in the BMW?
I may not have it immediately, but I'm sure I'll get it. I think we've got the speed to make this thing a title contender this year.
All right. Well, stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss a single race. Congrats again on a great run, Michael. We'll look for you next week in
Thank you
Montreal.
very much, sir.
Congratulations, Michael. Great to see you win.
Thank you very much.
That's Michael Odell, your overall and pro division winner. Man, what a great race we witnessed tonight. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. Christopher, how about wrapping it up for us, man? What do you think for your first broadcast? I thought you did amazing, by the way. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure to have you. The door is always open anytime you want to do it again. Tell us what you think, man.
I had a fantastic time. You made it so easy. You are the seasoned pro, and I am simply somebody picking up the scraps behind you as we talked through that. But what a great race to call! So many great on-track battles, excellent, clean racing all around, and what a privilege getting to work with Adam in the back there, calling the shots. Everybody who makes this league what it is. All the hours, the volunteer work that goes in behind the scenes, people have no clue. But what we get to see tonight is all of it coming together, getting to share in the glory and enjoy the hobby that we so love. So, James, you
That's
are the
right.
man. Thank you for thank you for giving me some airtime tonight. I had a ball, and you made me feel at home. I can't wait for the
Awesome.
next time.
Awesome. I look forward to it. It's time for me to go grab some Redbreast Irish whiskey and put in some Jennifer Hopper in my player and wind the evening down. For Josh Watt and Adam Sondag running the Twitch stream and the cameras, thanks to you guys so much. Couldn't do it without all of the admins who volunteer their time and effort to make Midwest Motorsports the great league it is. We'll look for you next week. For that, from Barber Motorsports Park, Christopher Hopper, Adam Sondag, Josh Watt, I'm James J. reminding you to stay in your lane. See you next week.
Have a good night.